Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is beyond chilling. What did you hear? And when you hear the numbers of John and Sarah, what does that tell you?
You know, it's sort of mind-boggling. We've been hearing rumors, and anonymous sources have been telling us for a couple of months now that they believe that the Obama administration was spying on other presidential candidates other than Trump, and that it may be politically motivated. Now, I don't have the evidence. I haven't seen the evidence, but I've requested it. I've asked the White House to look into it, and I've asked both of the intelligence committees. There are about 8 members of Congress who know more about spying, and they get all of the information that most of us are not privy to. I've asked those 8 members. These are the gatekeepers. There's something called a Gates notification. If they looked at my personal information, if they listened to my phone call, they're supposed to have a Gates notification, and there's supposed to be someone who knows that this happened. I've never been notified, and so my question is, are they supposed to tell me they're spying on me, or do I have to request it? But now that we've gotten these sources, I have made formal written requests to find out if the Obama administration did indeed spy on me.
Senator, we're going from 654 to over 2,200 in a year?
It may be even worse than that. When we spy on foreigners, we gather up maybe as much as 1 million pieces of information on 1 million different Americans. Now, they've looked at 30,000. So what you're hearing about is the ones they looked at, but they have 1 million different phone calls, transactions, emails from Americans who have talked to people overseas. The danger is if they're willing to use this for political purposes, what if someone's making an international deal and buying a company and it's top secret? It would be devastating to your stock price to know you're negotiating a deal with a foreign country or with a foreign company. What if someone decides to sell that to your competitors? Well, we can't have our intelligence agencies listening to anybody willy-nilly without a warrant.
Senator, this is deep and profound. We're talking about trampling on Fourth Amendment constitutional rights here, unreasonable search and seizure. There are laws and procedures in place here. One, Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Rhodes, Jarrett, and maybe even the president knew about this. You're the lawmaker. Espionage Act, tell me the laws that could have been broken here and how dangerous this is to a free and open society.
The main protection we have in our country is you have an independent judiciary. The police have to call a judge to listen to your phone call or to come into your house. What's happening here is there is no warrant for the American. The American's just being scooped up in any conversation with people overseas, and then they're searching the data bank. What I would like to know, and one of the questions I asked the White House is, did anyone in the President Obama's administration query my name? Did they look in that database of 1 million Americans' phone calls and look me up specifically? Did they ask to unmask me? And they have these terms that sounds like, oh, unmasking, how bad is that? It's the same as spying. They are able to look at your conversations, who you call, when you call, all of this data, this massive data bank, they're able to look into. So, wow. Yes, this is incredibly damaging to the separation of powers
and laws
incredibly
broken.
Damage to all Americans' privacy.
Wouldn't it mean that Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Jarrett, Rhodes, and maybe the president could have broken laws if they did this for political purposes, sir? This is an important question.
Absolutely. And see, you know, we've had trouble with Clapper before. Clapper was the one that came to the Senate and lied under oath about the fact that they were already doing this bulk collection of Americans' data. So they're not going to easily divulge this. The problem is there's a little bit of a bipartisan support for looking the other way. And so I'm having to push very hard to see if anyone is interested in the truth, because there's a lot of people who want to sweep this under the rug.
Well, tell me who those Republicans are off air, and we'll be sure to bring them on, too. All right, Senator, serious issue. This is not a joke anymore. Thank you for your insight. We look forward to peeling away the layers of the onion on this story.